at first, I would like to bow in reverence to many of our speakers, our colleagues, the experts out here who have taught me so many things. And on this Guru Purnima day, I would take this opportunity to thank all of them. I would also like to thank you, Chitra, for this wonderful opportunity. So here was a case where this was a VIP patient menu, and I was doing a trifocal toric implantation and using a femtolaser. So you can see I've come to the end of cataract surgery. You can see the well-constructed rexes, nicely.
Sir, you need to share your screen, sir.
No, the screen is shared, but
Okay.
the video is.
He's paused it. He's paused the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Sandeep.
Yeah, so I just paused it for a minute only.
Yes.
Can you see my video now?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So, okay, fine. So you can see the rexes is well centered on the visual axis. You can see a nicely constructed femtolaser incision. Everything looks okay. I think I'm just a few minutes away from closing the case. But what I was totally unprepared for was what happened later on, and as you can see out here, I am I'm injecting the lens into the eye. Mind you, it's a preloaded trifocal toric from a very reputed company. And as you can see over there, I've come to this stage where it is in the eye, the lens is completely damaged. So what do I do now? The first thing, of course, is that I have to remove this IOL out of the eye. I cannot keep it over there. So the second thing was that I have to probably go ahead with my original plan. So let's see what we did. So first injected viscoelastic. Then through the side port, I introduced a forceps, an IOL holding forceps, which is a 1.2 millimeter duck-billed shaped IOL holding forceps. And in the help of micro scissors, I went into the main wound and I started slowly disassembling the lens. The thought plan was that if I'm going to put a trifocal toric in this patient's eye, I should not enlarge my original 2.2 millimeter incision, nor should I allow it to get distorted, because if I allow it to get distorted, I might increase the surgically induced astigmatism, and that might preclude me from getting the best possible result, which is desirable in all these cases where premium IOL has to be carried out. So I was very careful that I did not enlarge the incision. And the other thing that I noticed was that because this is one of those hydrophilic lenses with a hydrophobic exterior, their refractive indices are high. So these lenses are low rather. So these lenses are very thick. And you have to be very careful when opening the jaws in the anterior chamber so that you don't damage either the cornea or the posterior capsule. So slowly, very slowly, I went ahead and I completely disassembled the lenses into 4 pieces so that each of those pieces was small enough to be got out of the eye without damaging the endothelium and without altering the size of my wound. And finally, I heaved a sigh of relief when I got that last piece into my forceps and slowly dragged it outside the eye. So this was the first case. And I'll now just come to the second case to give you a brief overview of this case. This case was a case of an artificial cosmetic iris implant, which a patient had implanted elsewhere. And this patient landed up with some secondary glaucoma and some corneal decompensation in the periphery. So his angles were closed and definitely this implant needed to come out of the eye. So let's see how we went ahead with that. So I made a side port, first of all, a 1 millimeter incision, and then I injected first a dispersive viscoelastic, followed by a cohesive Helon 5 under the viscoat so as to ensure that I had a proper soft shell technique. Mind you, this was a young 29-year-old male. And then with the 3 millimeter angle teratome, I went in and made an incision in the anterior chamber. I just enlarged slightly the inner lips of that incision. And then using the same OVD, Helon, I injected a little under the cosmetic iris implant so as to create a space between the iris implant and the native iris. Then using micro scissors, I made 2 radial sphincterotomies, 180 degrees opposite to the main wound. Now, this was essential to have some grasp on the iris. So this is something which I thought would do well. I once again made sure that I had a lot of viscoelastic so that I don't. Then we held with the micro forceps, again, the same forceps which I used to hold the IOL. And then very, very slowly and without lifting it, we basically made sure that all the haptics and as well as the foot plates got disengaged from the angle. and we started removing the iris implant outside the eye. As I realized the chamber is getting shallow, I had to regrasp. And as you can see, the iris was getting dragged out. So I said, no, this should not happen. I should once again make sure that I inject viscoelastic so that the iris does not come out of the wound. So through the side port, I went in again and injected some viscoelastic to keep the iris away. And finally got this silicone implant, which is a 11 millimeter implant with a 3.5 millimeter pupillary aperture. And I got it outside the eye. Thank you so much for your